On this free training, I'm going to show you exactly how to use DeepSeek version 3, which is the latest release from DeepSeek, to build basically anything you want. I'm also going to show you multiple ways that you can leverage this to build tools, websites, apps, etc. and some of the best creations that I've made so far, along with how to access this for free, because it is an amazing tool if you know how to use it correctly. And this is a collection of my best trainings, which creates a mega course for DeepSeek version 3. Enjoy. DeepSeek version 3 is out now. You can see it was just announced a few hours ago. This is completely free for you to access, but it's extremely powerful as an AI. So you can see some of the stats here, 60 tokens per second, fully open source. You can also download it and run it locally, which is pretty powerful. I'm going to show you exactly how to access it in 2 different ways for free. If you want to see the paper and how it works, etc., you can check that out. And I'm going to show you some of the best ways you can use it. You can also see it's a strawberries test, so this usually catches out most models. They've said how many R's are in strawberry. It's actually counted it properly, as you can see. What's also interesting is this is a Chinese-based technology, as you can see right here. And it was trained on a budget of $6 million. Now, from what I've heard, ChatGPT actually costs $700,000 a day to run. This was trained on a budget of $6 million, which is pretty low when you compare it to other models. You can see its key benchmarks versus, for example, Qwen 2.5, which is another Chinese technology, Llama 3.1, Claude 3.5 Sonnet, and GPT 4.0. So you've got the benchmarks right here, and you can see how it performs. So it's actually outperforming a lot of the other available paid models out there. And if you want to get access, you can get access at Deep.com. There are 2 ways you can get access to it, via the API or just via the chat. I'll be showing you the chat today. Here are the key benchmarks if you want to check that out on the website. Here's what the UI looks like. I'll be running you through it, including how DeepThink works, how its search feature works, and how you can use this to automate a lot of your best workflows. And what's wild about this is it's free, it's open source, and it's actually outperforming GPT 4.0 and Claude 3.5 Sonnet on multiple benchmarks. Pretty wild stuff right there. But the biggest difference is it was trained with 10x less compute. What's interesting in this chart as well by Alexander Wang is that you can see its accuracy percentile versus Llama, GPT 4.0, etc. And you can see it's raising the bar for most of these technologies. Additionally, if you want to get access via Hugging Face, it's available there. And these are some of the key stats about it as well. You can read more on the technical paper if you really want to go deep into that. If you're using the API directly, it's actually a lot cheaper than many of the other AI models out there. And other things are being built on GitHub with DeepSeek. For example, DeepSeek Engineer. This is a tweet by Pietro, who's actually created a coding assistant using DeepSeek, and that's available on GitHub too. So let's get straight into using this. So what I'm going to do quickly is just run through a content prompt right here. I did show a few people this yesterday on the content optimization, but we'll be running through some new prompts in a second. But just as an example, you can plug in your prompt inside the chat. It's completely free to access. There doesn't seem to be any limits from what I've seen so far. We can give it a fairly complex prompt like this for SEO optimization. Just plug in your keyword right here. You get access to all the prompts in a minute. And then if we hit enter, it's going to start generating the content. Now, honestly, the content doesn't seem as good as Claude 3.5 Sonnet. So I think it's honestly better for logic and for reasoning and for coding. Not the best for AI content creation, but it does do the job, and the content is nicely formatted. Plus, like I said, this is completely free. It's just not going to feel as humanized as other platforms, for example, like Claude. If we pull up Claude side by side and we'll use exactly the same prompt, you can see the difference in the quality of content. So let me plug in exactly the same prompt right here. We can check them out side by side, see how they perform. And if we just compare even like the main headings, for example, what is SEO comes from DeepSeek, whereas, for example, Claude is like, what is SEO? Here's the real deal. Right? And if you look at the way that this is written, it just feels a lot more human than the writing inside DeepSeek. So, for example, if you compare, look, if you're trying to figure out what SEO is, you're probably frustrated with your website and not getting the attention it deserves. I get it, I've been there, right? That's really humanized and just feels natural as it flows into it. Whereas, for example, if you look at this content, ever wonder why some websites pop up first on Google while others are buried on page 10? That's SEO work. It's not bad, but it just doesn't feel as humanized, right? And I've seen that throughout the content right here. If I actually compare the word count though, let's check this out. I do the formatting on DeepSeek, it looks nice. That's 518 words on DeepSeek. Let's have a look on Claude, see how we're performing here. So the content is actually longer directly inside Claude as well. So if I had a choice, I'm going to go with Claude every day of the week when it comes to content writing. But here's where it changes. So for example, if you're optimizing not just for content creation, which is great for humanizing content like Claude, But if you actually want to optimize for semantics, let's say, for example, you're using a tool like Surfer SEO, or you've got a list of LSIs and keywords that you want to create within your content, we can use a prompt like this, which is fairly complex. And we're basically getting the article to be written using the semantics below, so the recommendations. And typically what I find with these reasoning models, for example, ChatGPT Pro, which is $200 a month, but with these reasoning models, like, they are very smart at following instructions. For example, if we take this content right here, and we can see how it performs for SEO content optimization, let's grab it. And what we're going to do inside DeepSeek now is we're going to select DeepThink, which is its reasoning model, right? Like GPT-o1 Pro or these other reasoning models. And this is a really complex prompt, but you can see how it's thinking out the whole process. Now, what's interesting about this is how it writes in first person. Okay, so I need to write an SEO optimized article with the keyword SEO training Oxford. First, I should do this, then I should do that. Then I have a list of keywords, so I need to include that in the certain amounts, right? And it's really planned out carefully what it's going to write before it creates the content. If we look at the thinking mode before the actual content creation, let's have a look at this. So it's actually 700 words of deep thinking before it even creates the content, which is pretty wild. And the way that's written is very humanized. Like, it's like looking at a human writing or thinking. So now we've got the content creation, which is over here. It's included our content, plus it's written it personalized to us. And then what we're going to do is we'll check how that performs for semantic optimization, not necessarily for writing for the user, but writing more for the algorithm. So let's see how that performs. We're going to go into this content outline right here, and we'll see how it performs versus, say, something like ChatGPT Pro. So we'll plug in the content, see how that does. It's not bad. It's not bad at all. 45% content optimization. It's not too bad, but you can see that it has missed off a lot of these semantics. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these LSI keywords that's recommended, plus a word count, which is 800 words. I'm going to go back into DeepSeek now and say, okay, make sure you use these LSIs in the quantities recommended, plus word count equals 800 words. And we'll see if that can just do a better job second time round. Let's see how that performs second time round. So that's actually dropped down now as well, right? So it's actually, in terms of semantic optimization, not great. It's not going to perform as well as, say, something comparable like GPT-o1. If we go to GPT-o1, and we'll use exactly the same prompt to see how that scores. So let's grab exactly the same prompt. We'll see how ChatGPT-o1 scores. And I think it's good for you to see how it compares versus other models, and also just to give it a fair test, right? To see, okay, the thing that I would say between all of these is certainly o1 is slower. So we're just using o1. Maybe I should have used o1 mini, but the response rate's super slow, right? That's taken a fair amount of time to come back to me. But if you get a better output, probably worth it, right? So now we've got the content from o1. Let's see how this performs for semantics. Yeah, there we go. Look at that. 77% off the charts, right? So from what I've seen so far, Claude 3.5 Sonnet is still better for content writing. ChatGPT-o1 is still better for semantics versus DeepSeek. What you can also do, though, inside DeepSeek here is you can say, for example, create a free SEO cost calculator, and it will actually create the HTML for that, like you can see right here with the CSS inside. And then from there, you can run the HTML. So you can actually create tools directly inside DeepSeek and then run that HTML, test the tool directly. So if we click on Run HTML over here, we've actually got the tool ready to go. So we can select between all these different models and then calculate the cost, and it'll actually give us the estimated cost calculator. And so you can generate tools in like literally seconds using this. Again, it seems to be way stronger at coding and reasoning than it does for writing and semantic optimizations. So it's passed the test on that. Let's give it a bit more of a complex prompt now. So I'm going to try and create this keyword research tool, like you can see. I'm going to plug this into DeepSeek. This is something I would normally create with, for example, like Bolt or Lovable, these free AI coders. But we'll see how it performs directly inside DeepSeek V3. And we've got the HTML back. Now we've got the style CSS. In the meantime, just to test it out, what I'm going to do is go to liveweave.com. This was actually a Space Invader game that I created with it directly in DeepSeek yesterday, and that seemed to work first time round as well. So the coding does seem to be pretty high quality when it comes to DeepSeek, especially because it's free. So let's go back in here. We're going to plug in the HTML over there. Then we're going to grab the CSS. If you're wondering, okay, how do I embed this or how do I upload it to my website, etc., it's pretty simple. Like, you can just get the project files, put them all in one folder, and then you can upload them directly into something like Netlify. So we've got the preview now, and that is actually looking really nice. That's way better than I expected. I actually created a tool with Bolt. Yes, I actually created a tool with DeepSeek yesterday. Didn't look anywhere near as good. So I think it comes down to the prompting too, like you can see. But this is super nice, right? We've got a nice little keyword research tool here. The website is designed nicely, colors are nice. It's created the content on the page with like nicely designed emojis and headings. And that was literally in one single prompt, just using this one right here. So literally a copy and paste prompt. You could probably use that for any tool that you have in mind. And then let's test this out now. So we're going to say, for example, SEO into the analyze keyword section. It gives us the keyword analysis, search volume, competition, suggested keywords, etc. And that was super simple. Best SEO agency. We'll plug that in. Boom shakalaka. We got it ready to go. I'm not really doing this for the accuracy of the results, but more to show you how powerful this can be as a free coding tool and how good it is for coding. The functionality works first time round. If you try and do the same thing inside, for example, Bolt, which is another free AI coder, let's see if it works. So I'm going to go into Bolt right here and we'll plug that in and see what it comes back with. But just to recap so far whilst we're waiting for this, for content creation, I wouldn't use it. For optimization on semantics, I wouldn't use it either. But for creating tools, it's great. And also for creating websites, it's really good as well. And bear in mind as well, when you're doing this, you can see all the project files that Bolt has created. And this is going to take a little bit longer to roll out. Whereas that website is super simple. It looks great. The design is nice. And it's only 3 files that you can just quickly drag and upload into Netlify for whatever tool you're trying to create. You can create like one-page websites super fast using this process. Now, to be fair, Bolt has created something really nice as well. I would still say Bolt is creating a nicer website. But obviously, it's even created the branding in the top right, etc. But I think they're both pretty good. I like the pricing plans comparison as well at the bottom. That's pretty cool. And it's got all these links inside here, but I don't think they're going to work. If we click on them, nothing happens, right? It's created the spine of the website, but a lot of these internal links don't work. And also the pricing doesn't make sense either. Now, another really cool thing that you can do inside DeepSeek as well, if we go to search over here, is we can plug in this prompt that says search for my keyword. You insert your keyword right here, reverse engineer the top ranking competitors' content for this keyword, and then ask for headings, subheadings, word count, topics, LSIs, and entities, right? And so using this process, it can actually search the web, as you can see. And it's really, this prompt is super powerful for actually just figuring out, okay, what are my competitors doing? And how can I reverse engineer their success to get similar results, right? So for example, it's pulled together the main headings, subheadings from our competitors, the recommended word counts, is giving us a range right there, topics mentioned, LSIs and entities, etc. So for creating the content with Claude or whatever you're going to use, you can use that right there. And then key takeaways as well, right? And so you've basically got an automated content outline based on what's already ranking out there. And you can use the free search the web feature on DeepSeek. So there's a lot of potential in DeepSeek. I wouldn't say it's perfect for content creation, but for coding, searching the web, creating one-page websites, designing the front end, creating apps, like the Space Invaders game that I created earlier, pretty cool. It's got a lot of potential. It's amazing how fast it is as well. It's really fast to respond. And again, it's free. If you want to get free access to all of this, plus a free SEO community, ASEO course, proven ASEO case studies, loads of stuff right here as well that you can get access to. You can scan the QR code on this video. You get access to all of these prompts. Plus, there's over 200 lessons for free inside here with SOPs, tutorials, tips, templates, all breaking everything down step by step like we've done today, right? For every single thing you can imagine when it comes to content and quality control, keyword research, link building, topical maps, SEO tools, SEO systems, different automations that I've tested. Everything, by the way, inside this course is all tested by me. Even, for example, like how we diversify our traffic across Twitter, YouTube, LinkedIn, email, Facebook ads, and funnel building, and my Chiang Mai SEO conference presentation is all inside here, right? So if you want to get access to all of this for free, you can get it, scan the QR code or link in the comments and description to this free SEO course. Additionally, if you want to get a free one-to-one SEO strategy session, feel free to get that. We'll show you how we take websites from 0 to 145,000 business a month and generate thousands of dollars in sales and autopilot on this free link building acceleration session. You'll get a free SEO domination plan, discover the secrets of link building, we'll answer any questions you have. You'll learn the best link building strategy for your website, plus how to quickly outrank your competitors in link building and how to 10x SEO traffic based on what's working for us. So this is all designed to get you more leads, traffic, sales with SEO so that you can grow your business and make more money with your website. So if you want to get that for free, just book it in, link in the comments and description. Appreciate you watching as always. See you on the next one. Bye-bye. So today we're going to be testing out DeepSeek version 3, the new API inside these agents. So basically what Vector Shift is, a platform where you can actually plug in and create agents. I haven't actually paid for this tool so far, but I'll show you exactly how it works. So you can use it for free. It does have some free plans. And basically this is a no-code AI automation platform that creates really powerful AI agents. I'll show you exactly how to use it. The other interesting thing, and I've not tested this, but we can test it today, is that you can actually set up Google and Google's API inside here, which means you could probably use it for free because Google's API is free. And so I'm going to be showing you exactly how you can use it, what you can do, how to set it up, etc. And the way that we're going to get started is just by clicking the Get Started section right here. I'm going to be using DeepSeek version 3 for the API simply because it's a lot cheaper. So you can see actually it's priced 10 times lower than GPT-4o and 3.5 Sonnet when you use the API. And if you want to get an API, all you do is you go to DeepSeek.com, then you're going to top up and get some credits. You can top up for $2 if you really want to. And then from there, you'll get an API key and you can just create a new API key and use this inside Vector Shift. So once you've signed up for Vector Shift, this is exactly how it works. And the main place that you want to start is inside pipelines. Now, what you're doing essentially here is just creating your workflows, right? So for example, if we go to new pipeline, like you can see right here, so you just click the plus sign and then click create new on the pipeline section. There's all these different things you could do. So for example, like you can search a website or you can search a CSV. You can create simple chatbots. Like let's say, for example, you want to create and deploy your own chatbot for keyword research or that's trained on everything that you know as a team. You want to train your team up, etc. There's also a blog article generator template. So if you want to create your own custom made blog article generator, then you can do that inside here. Maybe we'll have a look at that in a second, along with sending Discord messages, Slack messages, even, for example, like competitor research reports on your competitors and how to write your content, etc. It can all be created within here. And other stuff that you can do, it seems like you can actually, for example, look up Google Drive, look up Google Docs. Like, it's pretty wild the amount of stuff you can actually do inside here. Now, if you look at a very simple example, we'll take a look at this one. This is based on the simple chatbot template that you can get inside Vector Shift. And what we're doing here is we're essentially taking an input, like you can see, then we're plugging that into this custom LLM chatbot. And then from there, we have an output, which gives us the output inside a chatbot. Now, you can make this as complex or as confusing as you want to, right? So if you want to, for example, like save files, add more text, create more outputs, even add notes, etc. There's really some really cool stuff you can do. What's really simple here is that you can actually, for example, connect Perplexity. Perplexity's API can actually connect to the internet and do the research for you. And then later on, you can create the content with whatever your preferred content creator is. So for example, you could create a Perplexity workflow where that searches the web, and then from there, the content is created with Claude, and then after that, you get the output, right? Also, what you can see here is you can add a knowledge base. So for example, you can select a database, or you can actually just load a vector database into your pipeline. And we've got all these integrations as well with, for example, Airtable, Discord, Gmail, Google Docs, even LinkedIn is on there. And probably for most SEOs watching this, WordPress is the most important one, right? For example, what you could do here is you could have an integration where you're like, okay, we're going to take Google Doc with my keyword ideas. Then from there, we're going to link that to Perplexity, so Perplexity can go out, connect to the internet and do the research for us. After that, we can create a custom LLM where we can add the details of DeepSeek. And then once you've actually set up all of these sections, right? So for example, the Google Docs, Perplexity, etc., then you would link them, right? So you can see how once this is filled in, we can add an input and an output. So for example, the input is you put in a chat on this workflow automation right here. I'm just going to delete these because this was just an example for you. So let's take them away. And now you've got your automation where it's like an input to a custom LLM. These are the details that I used for DeepSeek. So if you want to test DeepSeek, I'll show you exactly what it looks like in a second. But you can see here, we've got the input, then we've got the custom LLM section, which you can drag and drop from here. And then you've got the prompt, the model, the API key, and the base URL, right? So this is where it's referencing the API docs from. Now, this is quite comparable to something like make.com. So for example, inside make.com, you can have an automation like this, where you just, for example, we've taken a keyword from a spreadsheet, plugged it into Claude. Claude creates the content, the title, etc., and then plugs it into WordPress. However, what I would say from what I've seen so far is that you get more flexibility from Vector Shift, but not just that, you can actually deploy. So if you click on deploy over here, it's quite easy to set up. We can also do a test run. We'll just type in keywords for an SEO agency. We'll hit run. And what this is doing is taking the input that we just plugged into the chat over here. And then we've got the outputs down here, right? Let me pull that out for you. You can actually drag it as well across if you're finding that a little bit complicated. But basically, you've got the inputs over here, and then you've got the outputs, right? So for example, keywords for an SEO agency, and then you've got the outputs here. Now, this is just a super basic thing. You can also change this to a chatbot or to a voice as well. And then once you've deployed this, let me show you what it looks like. So if we scroll down here and then go to chatbots, and then what we can do is we can export that as an automation, a chatbot, a searchable form, right? Which is very different to make.com, because inside make.com, number one, it's not very easy to set up custom LLMs. So you're constrained to the apps inside here unless you're quite good at coding. And then additionally, you can't deploy these, right? So you can't deploy this as an automation or a tool that people can just go on the web and search. Whereas inside here, you actually can, right? So for example, if we go to chatbot over here, we'll go to, so you just click the share button right there, export, and then you can select chatbot or whatever. We can put in the chatbot name. So DeepSeek SEO agent, hit create chatbot likes. And then you can also customize this a lot as well. So for example, you can embed, you've got, for example, like welcome prompts, welcome headers, styling. So you can change the design on your prompt as well. You can add a URL, an avatar. There's so much customization that you can add to this. If you want to see more about this, if you want me to explore it more, just let me know in the comments and I can create more case studies for you. Right? Now, once you've done that, let's hit export. And now we can open up the chatbot. Now, some of you might be saying, okay, but how do you embed that onto a website? I'll show you that in a second, right? You can also protect these with passwords. So you could even sell these as tools and then just give out the password to people who buy it, which is another money-making opportunity. And then we've got the chatbot that we created with DeepSeek right here. It's even got voice commands. So if we click on the voice, give me some keywords for an SEO agency. And then you can see it's taken the voice right there. I just need to delete the example Anthropic LLM that I inserted before. And then again, it's super easy to deploy the new changes. So we've done that right now. Just a heads up that if you're on the free plan, you can only create one automation, right? So for example, if we've created an updated chatbot, it's going to get a bit messy there. We can't do it. And then you can see how easy this is to set up, right? So for example, we've put in the question here, what is SEO? And then it's replied as DeepSeek, right? And the response is pretty good, actually. It's quite nicely done. It's even got some follow-up questions right there. Again, we can message it in voice. You can customize the design, like I've already shown you. And yeah, really cool stuff. If we actually go to edit over here, that's how you can get back and start editing the content. And you could basically custom train this for anything. So it could be, for example, for tools, for SaaS products that you actually sell to people. The only real limitation you have is your own creativity here, right? Now, that was really basic. That was just like your basic sort of custom GPT that you can create anywhere. But again, if we go back to this pipeline, you can do anything with this, right? So you've also got logic options, like, for example, timers. And additionally, if we plug in the Google node there, it seems like we don't even have to plug in the API key, actually, which is quite interesting. So if we X off that, then we'll plug in the Google LLM. We're going to drag the input to the prompt, and then we'll drag the response to the output. We'll hit deploy changes, test this out, and there you go. All right, what's interesting about this is you didn't even need to plug in your API key details. So it's completely free. You can select between the different models. So it's even got, for example, Gemini Flash Experimental right there, which is basically the latest model from Gemini. And if we go back to the marketplace as well, there seems to be a bunch of different agents that you can actually set up, right? So there's a social script agent, a sales agent. You can actually preview them. So what you can see here is that you actually integrate Gmail, and this kind of answers your email. So it automatically composes an email reply to the email address. So if we click on preview, you can see the agent right here. And again, this is way more complex than what I built, which shows you the power of it. But basically, this is taking the email from Gmail, plugging it through OpenAI. You can add a knowledge base there, so you could add some information about you. That's going to send the reply to Gmail, and all of a sudden, you don't need to answer emails anymore. Right? So these agents are crazy powerful. Here's another example, right? So let's say, for example, you're an SEO, and you want to automatically search the internet based on your competitors, and then use that information to create content and reverse engineer your competitors. You can see here, there's an agent that you can get from the marketplace, which allows you to ask a question that will be answered by AI and Google search results. So if we go to the preview over here, you have the input. So you ask a question, it's going to run through OpenAI, then it's going to do a semantic search. I assume that's the Google API part of it as well. And then from there, you've got this prompt, which answers the question, fills in the context from Google, and then outputs it as well. Right? So you can have, for example, your own custom agents to search the internet, combine that with AI, then do your content outlines or your content creation. And yeah, pretty amazing. Let's have a look at the article generator. What I think this would be useful for is that you use the prompts and the templates from the marketplace, but when you do this, you customize it to you, your brand, your business, etc., with a sitemap of your internal links, and that way you can create content automatically that's customized to you and your business, right? And you just create your own AI SEO tool that can write content and edit it for you potentially as well. So loads of cool stuff that you can do right here. So thanks so much for watching. If you want to get access to all the video notes with links to everything that we talked about today, along with an recipe on exactly how to build these AI agents using DeepSeek version 3. And additionally, what I've also done is created 50 different use cases for automation ideas for SEO related AI agents, right? So if you're wondering, okay, what are the best use cases? How can you leverage this to scale your automations and just save you hundreds, if not thousands of hours? Then feel free to get that link in the comments and description to my free SEO course, where you can find the video notes from today right there, along with 204 AI SEO tutorials on exactly how to do keyword research, link building, quality control, topical maps, everything that you can ever imagine when it comes to doing SEO is inside this course. And I've tested everything, right? Every single tutorial we test, we show you it works. Everything's been tested for you, including a bunch of free SEO tools. So if you want to save thousands of dollars, there's actually 53 AI SEO tools plus a community of 2,700 SEOs that you can ask for help and advice inside this free course. So feel free to get it, link in the comments. And if you want to get a free one-to-one SEO strategy session, feel free to book that and we'll show you how we take websites from 0 to 145,000 business a month and generate thousands of dollars in sales and autopilot. On this free link building acceleration session, you get a custom tailored link building plan so you can generate more sales leads and profits from your website. You'll discover the secrets of SEO link building. We'll answer any questions you have one-to-one for free. You'll learn the best link building strategies for your website, plus how to quickly outrank your competitors in link building and how to 10x your SEO traffic based on what's working for us. Feel free to get that link in the comments and description. Appreciate you watching. Bye. Today, we're going to be testing out DeepSeek Artifacts, which is based on DeepSeek version 3 as far as I know. And basically what we're using is a free artifact creator to code, to create content, to create websites, to create apps in literally seconds. I've tested it out today and it is absolutely mind-blowing. So let's get straight into it. You don't need to log in. You don't need to create an account. It doesn't seem like there's any sort of premium pricing right here. So we're just going to get straight into it. And if I say, for example, create a dad's jokes keyword. So what it's going to do is start going off and creating the code. So we've got the file names of the project right here. We've got the app CSS, the index HTML, and the app TSX. And it's just going off and creating the code, as you can see right here. We've got the jokes inside the text right there. And then we've actually generated this in literally seconds, and we've got our app ready to go. So for example, if we click on joke 1, it works perfectly. Why don't skeletons fight each other? They don't have the guts. Great dad joke right there. Why did the math book look sad? Because it had too many problems. And so it's amazing. It's amazing the things you can do with technology these days. And so now we're going to click on open the sandbox, and we actually get a sandbox version of the project right here. Now, this is very similar to Lovable or Bolt.new or even Claude Artifacts. But the thing here is it's completely free. It works pretty much every time I use it. You can actually sandbox the project, so you can edit it on Vercel, as you can see right here. So you can edit the code as you want to, and you don't need to create an account or log in or anything like that. Like, you could probably just open this up on your phone and then start creating apps and SaaS tools on the go. And then if you want to download it, you can, right? So for example, if we go, so you can edit the code if you want to. You can actually create a repository right here, so you can sandbox it out right there on GitHub if you want to, once you've logged into Vercel. But yeah, pretty amazing stuff. Completely next level that you can just do this in seconds. Let's try another thing now. Now let's test out in the context of SEO, and we can run through some use cases, how you can use it for your website, etc. So I'm going to take this prompt right here. We'll plug that directly into Artifacts. As you can see, what I like about it is it's just super neat and tidy, and there's no messing around here, right? For example, when you build these projects, sometimes with Bolt.new and these other sort of APIs, the biggest issue is that it quite often breaks and you have to go back and forth with it. Whereas from the 2 tests I've done so far on this, like, it just works first time around. It's beautiful. Like you see right here, you've got your blog built literally in seconds, no messing around there, and it's straight off to the bat. And it's customized to me, my website, etc. Like I said, if you want to create a bigger website or you want to build it out more, you can open up the sandbox and you live in the dream. You can also share that with people. So if you copy the link, you can create like a shareable link right there. And if we go to file and then save as, you can just save it, right? So you can save it locally, or you can just download it. So you can hit download and download that as a project right there. So you can see all the project files that we just downloaded literally in seconds for free. Then you can host it locally, edit it how you want to. You've got it all backed up. And that was nice and simple. Let's test it out on another prompt right now. So we're going to say, create a beautifully designed SEO calculator, SEO optimized for the keyword with actual content on page 2, keyword equals, and then link to this throughout. Change the brand colors to mine, add more content on the page. So we'll see what that does. We're going to plug that in. And what's wild about this is it works. No messing around. Like, it doesn't break, it doesn't mess up, etc. Let's test out Lovable and Bolt, which are both paid tools. They both have premium pricing involved. So for example, if we say the same prompt that we used previously, there we go. Now this one, it doesn't seem to have done so well. So you can see here, actually, just something to be aware of is there's actually content on the page, but the brand colors aren't right. So it hasn't done it perfectly right there, just being 100% transparent with you. Let's try another one. So I'm going to take this example right here, plug it in. And you can see, for example, like Lovable, which you can create like one project for free and then you have to pay. On Lovable, it's not worked at all. So that first prompt that worked perfectly on DeepSeek version 3, on that one, you can see here, Lovable, we use exactly the same prompt that we used previously on DeepSeek Artifacts. This is a premium tool. This is a completely free tool that we don't have to sign in on. And the premium tool, Lovable, that you can pay for, doesn't work. But the tool that was coded with DeepSeek works like first. DeepSeek is not let me down like once. Seems to just work every time pretty much. And the same for Bolt as well. If you've seen any of my other videos, I talk about some of the errors that come up inside Bolt, but inside DeepSeek Artifacts, seems to work really well. Now, this is a brand new tool. So you can see this was announced by Caleb, who basically said, let the most powerful open model in the world create landing pages for you. Powered by DeepSeek version 3, very strong React and Tailwind ability. That is absolutely true. The other thing is it's really fast to respond. So let me show you some SEO use cases here as well. So what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to try and create some content using this prompt. We'll run through it in a second. I'll show you how we used it. And I'm just going to put here keyword equals what is SEO, just as a totally random example. And then we'll insert the prompt for writing and creating the content. Now it's going to create a landing page, but you can still leverage the AI to create the content and then also design it nicely on the page too. So we'll wait for that to load. It's going off and doing its thing. Let me talk you through the prompt here and how we generated it. So basically what we're saying here is for writing the actual content, use this, easy to read, conversational, aim for about 1,000 words. Keyword in the first line, last line, keep it fresh, real, etc. Simplify the content, and then also avoid these negative AI words that kind of like a red flag to show that your content. Do not use these words because obviously a lot of this stuff is just obviously AI generated. So if we come back to the response right here, we have the content. It's written the article step by step, nicely SEO optimized. Content itself doesn't read too badly at all. I wouldn't say it's perfect. I'd still use Claude. But for generating content quickly based on your keywords, that is not too bad at all. And you could easily build out a landing page or website based on that. Let's test out another prompt. So I'm going to go back to DeepSeek. We'll plug this in. Basically what we've said here is create a one-page website for a tool about free SEO. Analyze the tool, insert the keyword, embed the tool after paragraph 1, then insert some content on how to use it, etc. Include some FAQs and have a pop-up advertising this page. Then write in first person. The content is Julian Goldie in simple first grade language. It's building out the page. We've got the pop-up right there. We'll close that. And then you can see it's generate the tool. So we've got the tool right there under the first paragraph, as we asked it to do. It's optimized the page for our keywords. So we've got free SEO analyze the tool in the top there, in the title, in the first paragraph as well. And that's ready to go. And if we open up the sandbox, we've got everything right there. Now you might be wondering, okay, how do you actually deploy it? Now, if you want to deploy this as well, you can just download the project files and then host it on Netlify. That's pretty simple and easy to do. Just go to File. Let's see if we can actually create a keyword research tool. So I'm going to grab this. So then we're going to go over and ask it to create the keyword research tool. We're also waiting for the code to generate. Let me talk you through it. So we'll basically say create a keyword research tool, drop down box to select the preferred AI model, ask them what the niche is, then have a button to start the keyword research and just find and go off and do this, right? And that's code in the tool, as you can see. Like you can see, there's so many different use cases for this. You can create apps, websites, landing pages, EMDs. You can create your own tools, SaaS products. Like, it's just endless what you can do with this. And the other crazy thing is it just works first time. So we've plugged in the API key for Gemini, we've plugged in the niche, and then it's gone off and worked its magic, right? So we've got keywords, for example, e-commerce SEO, email marketing strategies, content marketing tips, like it's clustered the keywords into relevant clusters as well. Worked first time, and then you can just go off and create your own AI tools, right? Custom built for whatever you want. One thing I would say with all of this, I'm just going to delete that API key, is if it's free, it's probably using your data in some way, right? So just something to be aware of there. But if you don't mind sharing any data that you're creating tools around, etc., then this is a super powerful way to create different websites, landing pages, apps, etc., without spending any money, without paying for any tools. You can easily get the project files and then download them, etc. So pretty amazing. So thanks so much for watching. If you want to get access to all of the prompts, loads of different use cases, you can see there's 29 pages of prompts inside this document. You can get that inside my free SEO course, link in the comments and description. If you just go to the free SEO tool section and then DeepSeek artifacts, you'll find the video notes in the description. Additionally, if you want to check out my free SEO course, it comes with over 205 different lessons inside this. So pretty much everything you can ever imagine. It's better than most paid courses. It's got so many different tutorials, free tools, free tips, a community of 2,700 SEOs as well that you can ask for help. So it's absolutely amazing what you can get in there. Feel free to get it, link in the comments and description. And if you want to get a free one-to-one SEO strategy session, feel free to put that in. We'll show you how we take websites from 0 to 145,000 this month and generate thousands of dollars in sales on autopilot. On this free link building acceleration session, you get a free SEO domination plan, discover the secrets of link building, we'll answer any questions you have one-to-one, and you'll learn the best link building strategy for your website so that you can get more leads, traffic, and sales and profits from your site. Additionally, you'll learn how to outrank your competitors and how to 10x SEO traffic based on what's working for us. Feel free to get that link in the comments and description. Appreciate you watching. Bye-bye. Bold DIY, along with Gemini Studio and DeepSeek version 3, is absolutely wild. And I'm going to be guiding you through it today, along with showing you my best tips, templates, SOPs, and strategies to make sure that you can use this completely for free. And I'm going to guide you through it step by step. Now, the first place you're going to want to start is by navigating to the GitHub bolt.diy. Now from here, what you can actually do is you can set this up for free locally on your laptop. It doesn't cost you a penny. It's not like bolt.new where you have to pay for tokens, and it's really easy to get set up. So all you're going to do is make sure you have Docker installed, make sure you have the latest version of Next.js, make sure that you actually have Docker open in the background. I've got it up in the top right there. And then from here, you're just going to pump it open on the old terminal. So if we go to the terminal over here, you can see I've already run through the documents. It might take a few minutes to download, but step by step, you can see that we've done the git clone over here. Then we've set up the command. Then we've basically just copied and pasted the instructions. If you have any problems setting this up, then what you can actually do is just screenshot it, plug into ChatGPT, ask for help that way. Now, once you've set it up, and it shouldn't take too long, what you're going to see is something like this. And essentially, once you've opened it up, you open it up in the local host, which terminal is going to give you. If you want to know what URL that is, it will actually give you it once it's successfully set up on terminal. So you can see the local host URL right there. And if you're still struggling, check out my video from yesterday because I guide you through it step by step on exactly how to set up. Now from here, what you're going to do is once you're inside the local host, you can actually see some chat history. So you can see all the stuff that you set up previously right here. And then you can also select the API that you prefer. Now this is very different to bolt.new, which is the paid version of this tool. Because you're running it locally, you can actually select between the different APIs, as you can see. And then you can just edit the API key that you want to use here. And you can also select between Coda and chat if it's got that option, right? So for example, if we go to Google and we look through the options, we've got 1.5 Pro, 2.0 Flash, Experimental 1206. And this is super powerful for just creating your own apps and building your own apps. Now you can create websites and tools and other stuff, but today what I want to focus on is how to build apps because I've already covered websites yesterday and I want to create something new for you. So inside Bolt DIY over here, we can go to Google and then we can select, for example, DeepSeek. One thing I want to say here is like DeepSeek is very cheap and I think it's something like 1/10 of the price of Claude Sonnet, which is like its alternative. But if you want completely free, if you don't want to mess around, you want to get it completely for free, then don't worry because Mr. Goldman has you back here. And if you go into Google AI Studio over here, click Get API Key, then create an API key. You can from here get an API key and then you're going to go back to Bolt DIY, select it, boom shakalaka. You're in and you're living the dream, all right? So let me run you through some example apps that we can actually build. And one really easy tip for this, if you're struggling, if you're not sure what you need, go to ChatGPT and inside ChatGPT say, what apps can I build in my niche? And then just insert it. Keep them super simple ideas, right? So for example, I'm in the SEO agency niche. So I'm going to plug in that directly into the chat. And then it's going to give me some ideas of what I could build as an app, right? So for example, like a SEO ROI calculator, content idea generator, broken link finder, etc. Like pretty much all of these you could probably build directly with Bolt, right? Now, if you want to build an app, you don't need to do anything too fancy. Just select whichever API you want to use. For now, I'm going to select DeepSeek and then DeepSeek Coder. And then from here, we can even prompt it using the microphone, or we can just prompt it using ourselves. And we're just going to say something like, create a synthesizer app that's fun and easy to use. Then from here, we're going to wait for that to start coding. And as you can see, it's now building out the files. Now, what I love about this particular version of Bolt DIY is that you can use really nice APIs. They're actually going to code you things first time round. Whereas, for example, if you go into Bolt.new, you can get a lot of issues simply because it's using older APIs, right? For example, like DeepSeek version 3, that's a new API. It's just been released, and therefore it's more reliable, right? And the newer these APIs become, and the more updates that get released, the better it is to be able to customize the API that you use, because that's going to be the latest version, which means that you're probably going to get a more effective upgrade, right? And now you can see we've got the code ready to go. We created an app in seconds. I only required one prompt and we didn't even have to type it out. And then from here, we can select, okay, what do we want to use? Here's the volume. And if we just test it out, it's incredible, right? It's absolutely incredible. It's just, what a time to be alive. That's what I would say to you, my friends. So let's say, for example, you got some apps you want to create in your niche, right? For example, if we look at the meta tag generator, we'll go over to Bolt. We can select whatever API we want. So for example, like DeepSeek, and then we can say, okay, create a meta tag. And what we can do from here is we can select the AI right here. And basically what that's going to do is then give a more detailed prompt based on the original idea, so that we don't just give it like something super brief and we can plan it out a bit better. So from here, we've selected DeepSeek version 3. We're using the DeepSeek Coder API, and we're going to hit enter from there. And now you can see you can generate apps in like the space of literally one single click. Now, it might not work straight away depending on how complex the actual tool is, but it's pretty simple and easy to fix, even if there is an issue. Now, from here, what you can additionally do is push this to GitHub. You can open up the terminal, you can sync the files, you can download the code, right? So for example, if you want to store it locally and edit it later, and yet there's just so much you can do with this, right? So you can see there is an error right there. So what we're going to do is just ask Bolt to fix it. And essentially it's because we need to install Vite. So it's going to install Vite right there. Addition, what you can do from here is, let's say, for example, you want a different API. Maybe you want to use multimodal modes. For example, like Google's API, it can allow images and it can look at images like screenshots and then figure out from there. Or you can select the API from the list and then go to, for example, like Google, and then select that as the API. Now, if we go to our preview, you've now got the app ready to go. As you can see, you can just plug in everything and all the information that you need. It's pretty simple and easy to use, right? So as an example of this, we've generated the meta tag generator app in literally the space of seconds. We've plugged in the title from a random blog post, taken a short description, and then boom shakalaka, you got the generated meta tags right there. It's so simple and easy to do. And you have, for example, the keywords. I don't know who even uses meta tags in 2025, but you get the idea. Like, it's quite easy to build these out, and you can get unlimited ideas directly from ChatGPT, plug them into Bolt, build them out in seconds, and you live in the dream. If you're figuring out, okay, like how do you host these? So you can download the code like I was showing before, and then you can drag and drop them directly into GitHub, or you can actually go into Netlify. Netlify is a place where you can host all the files that you have, or you can link it to GitHub as well. I've shown that in my video yesterday, so I don't want to show it again today, but you get the idea. Now, let's have a look at another example. So we'll create the content readability analysis tool. So for example, I'm going to plug this in right here. And one thing actually I have no, and then we can highlight that, click the AI again to generate something better. Additionally, you might want to make it look better. So for example, if you looked at that previous tool we built, pretty basic, nothing that interesting right there. So we can say, for example, make the UI amazing and very interesting plus sleek design, right? Something like that, just to make sure that the UI is much nicer on the tool that we actually create. And there you go, your readability analyzer right there, plug in your text, copy paste, see if this actually works, and then you can just copy and paste and just analyze whatever you want to create, right? Now, if we go back to the list inside Bolt over here, you can also select between your different chat history. So you got that on the left-hand side. And the reason you might want to use that is because let's say you've got a tool that you want to recreate using, say, the vision mode inside Google, right? So let's say, for example, we'll go to a tool that I've previously created inside here. And again, this is more a focus on apps today in this video, but if you check out my other videos, you'll see the other stuff that we've done around tools and websites and that sort of thing. But if we X off that, we'll go back to Bolt, we'll plug in the screenshot likes, and we'll say, okay, recreate this screenshotted app. We'll select the text, we'll select the AI from there. And the reason you might want to do that is because when you're using these tools, is because then the AI's got a good idea of what are you trying to create? What should success look like, right? So instead of having to figure out, okay, the UI should be over here, and the tool should be used in this way, and all the boxes should be used like this, blah, blah, blah. You can just recreate it using this kind of clone option where you can take a screenshot of whatever you want to recreate. And then from there, you can start creating it. Like you could probably even sketch it out if you wanted to into a wireframe and then paste that into the tool. And from there, recreate it using the AI. So there's a lot of cool stuff you can do with this. And I think 2025 is going to be the year of like personalized apps, personalized tools. I don't think many people will be paying for coders, right? I don't know if you saw, if you want to see something really wild, just take a look at this. So for example, the Wall Street Journal, they reported that tech job seekers without AI skills face a new reality, lower salaries and fewer roles, which is pretty scary. Now, here's where it gets really scary, right? So basically, Wall Street Journal, they said in February, salaries for software developers declined on a year-over-year basis for the first time since the start of Indeed's pay data in 2019, right? So postings on Indeed, which is a massive job ads platform, have fallen by 67% from March 2022 to the end of February. Now, no one knows like the exact reason why, but for sure, someone like me, I'm not going to hire a coder anymore, right? I can just build out these tools pretty quickly using, for example, DeepSeek, which is so cheap to use and so easy to use. And then you've got this tool built out. It's ready to go. You plug in the API, plug in the keywords, boom, shakalaka. You've automated something that might take a developer like a couple of weeks, and then you have to find a good one, and then you have to pay them, and then you have to go back and forth, etc. And that's a scary reality that we live in these days. Now, what's also interesting from here is that you can actually select Perplexity, right? Now, why would you want to use Perplexity? Perplexity actually has access to the internet when you're using the API, right? For example, if you look at some of these tool ideas, the SERP preview tool, right? Or for example, if you're trying to build a content outline tool that can actively scan the internet, look at your competitors and who's ranking, then you would use something like Perplexity for that API, connects to the internet, does exactly the same or even better than most content outline tools out there. And you can just automate it in a couple of clicks. So thanks so much for watching. I've actually got a full SOP inside my free course, link in the comments and description, that has tons of use cases and example prompts like you can see right here, along with 200 AI SEO tips, tutorials, and templates. And when you sign up, you'll get free access to the AI SEO Success Lab, which comes with a community of 2,800 SEOs you can ask for help, along with a classroom full of courses, as you can see right here, and 50 free AI SEO tools that we actually built with AI, right? And you can see all the amazing courses and tutorials inside here. If you like no-code AI tools, then you'll probably, for example, Bolt.new, Windsurf AI, like Project IDX, etc. There's tutorials and templates and SOPs on every single one of those methods, like you can see in the video notes right there. So feel free to get that link in the comments and description. And if you want to get a free one-to-one SEO strategy session, feel free to book then. We'll show you how we take websites from 0 to 145,000 visits a month and generate thousands of dollars in sales on autopilot. On this free link building acceleration session, you'll get a free SEO domination plan. So you'll get a custom tailored link building plan so you can generate more leads, sales, and profits from your website. Additionally, you're going to discover the secrets of link building specifically for your website. We'll answer any questions you have. So our world-class SEO experts will answer any questions you have one-to-one. And you'll learn the best link building strategy for your website, plus how to quickly outrank your competitors. So on that call, we're going to look at you, your competitors, build out a game plan, and show you exactly how to rank. And that's completely free. Feel free to book it in. Link in the comments and description. Appreciate you watching. Bye-bye. Today, I'm going to show you how to build anything with DeepSeek version 3 for free, so that you don't need to pay for any of this. And I'm going to show you basically how to build apps, websites, tools, step by step, using the V3 API. Now, this is super powerful because number one, it's open source and it's already beating a lot of the closed models out there. So for example, Claude 3.5 Sonnet and GPT-4o are both getting beaten by DeepSeek version 3, as you can see right here. Now, this is pretty much across the board when it comes to benchmarks. So for example, for coding, for logic, etc., you can use DeepSeek version 3. And here's where it gets even crazier. I'm going to show you how to access this for free, but I've absolutely rinsed the API on DeepSeek recently this week, and it's been almost free, right? It's cost me 0.2 cents to use it for hours, right? And even if you did pay for the API, it's pretty much free, it's super powerful. You can build basically anything with it. And because it's just recently been released, it's very easy for anyone like you to build anything that you can imagine. Let me show you some examples, starting off with the free options. So what we can do is we can go to deepseek-artifacts.forsale.app. And from there, we actually get access to DeepSeek version 3 because someone's built this free coding tool where you can create pages like you can see, you can create websites, apps, etc. using a very simple prompt. So for example, what we can do from here is we can go inside the chat and we can say, okay, create a Space Invaders game, right? Just test something super simple like that. And basically you can create in one single click a video game that used to take people hours, if not hundreds of hours to build. So let's wait for that to generate. What you're going to see is, first of all, the code is being generated right here. So it's building out the files for the project. And then once it's finished generating, it will actually show you a preview of the game that is built. The amazing thing about this is it's never been so easy to create and code things. So here you can see, for example, we've got the game ready to go. You can see the Space Invaders coming after me here, and I can just flick through the arrows and avoid them. Pretty simple, as you can see. That was generated in what, one click? Some of the stuff that you can do with this is crazy. For example, you can build apps, you can build to-do list apps, calorie counters, you can build websites, landing pages, tools. And the other thing is as well, right? Once you've actually built this up, you can actually open it up in the sandbox. And then inside the sandbox, as you can see, it's giving us the code for the game. But also if we go over here and then we click on download sandbox, we can actually just download it and keep the code or store it offline. Right? You can also share this with other people and you can embed it too. So you can actually embed the code inside a website. So let's say, for example, you create a tool or an app that you want to embed inside your website. You can just take the code and it'll actually load the files with the preview. How much did that cost us? Nothing. It's completely free. Let's try something else now. So we'll say create a website for my SEO agency. It's just going to go off and build that out. Obviously, you could customize it with your own prompts, your own tips, etc. And actually, I've got a free course link in the comments description that gives you all of my best prompts for using this sort of stuff. So if you just log in, go to the free SEO tools section, you'll see all my best prompts for Lovable, Bolt, DeepSeek, etc. But here you can see the website generated. You can actually flick the preview. So if you just want to see it full screen, you can see an example right here. You can refresh it if you want to, and you've got the website built out in literally a couple of clicks. You can also flick between night mode and daytime. Now, what you can also do if you want to get free access to this is you can actually get an API from Hyperbolic. That's free to get access to. And they've actually offered a small Christmas gift where you can play with the DeepSeek 3 API through their APIs, right? So if you get the API from Hyperbolic, that's available at hyperbolic.xyz. And then once you've logged in, you can grab an API key and then get free access to it that way as well. Pretty simple stuff. Now, what happens if you don't want to use artifacts? You can actually use the DeepSeek chat directly. It's available at their website, so chat.deepseek.com. And then from here, we can start building things out with DeepSeek. Now, what this is also useful for is because you've got a chat mode, you can actually, for example, create content. So for example, if we say, create a short intro for my article about SEO, make it feel humanized in the style of Alex Hormozy. He's created a really nice intro, so you can see right here, let's get real for a second. SEO is some mythical, untouchable art. It's your golden ticket to being seen, heard, and found in a world where everyone's screaming for attention, right? Most human copywriters couldn't be that. That's really nice. The way that it's written, and with a bit of editing, you can create an article for free very quickly using deepseek.com. Now, that's one way to create content. What you can also do here is if you need some help with, for example, logic or reasoning or thinking tasks, then what you would actually switch to is DeepThink over here, right? So this will be comparable to, for example, ChatGPT model, where it's a DeepThink reasoning model. But the difference here is that with, for example, ChatGPT, you have to pay for that tool. Whereas, for example, with deepseek.com, obviously you have to be careful because it is using your data, and I'm sure that's what it's being trained on. But at the same time, if you want free access to use its logic and reasoning mode, then you can use that right here. So for example, we can say create a calculator for SEO, and then it's actually thinking out the whole process. before it does anything else. And usually what it does is actually plans this out in about 800 words or so. It's planning out exactly how to build it, and it's gone seriously in depth there. It's also creating an algorithm for calculating total SEO score. And then it's figuring out, okay, how do we create this? We could do it with HTML, CSS for styling, and JavaScript using the calculation logic. Plus it's planning out, okay, based on the feedback, how can it help you like create better content, right? So number one is figuring out how to create the tool. Number two is figuring out where to code it. Number three is figuring out, okay, how to do the feedback, and super simple and easy to do. Now, once it's done that, you can say, okay, create the HTML, CSS, and JS if you want to build something with it. And if you want to preview this sort of stuff, you can actually go to LiveWeave, as you can see right here. This is a tool that I actually built out previously using a similar API. And you can see the result right here. So we built out a keyword research tool. These prompts are inside my free course, link in the comments description. And if we test it out, so if we put, for example, like real estate, analyze the keywords, you can see it's given us some analysis of that keyword right there, along with creating the web page and the website. Like you could actually get that hosted and create it. And if you're wondering, okay, like how do you actually host all of this? How do you get it live? So what I actually did was I downloaded the CSS, the JavaScript, everything else, plugged it into netlify.com. Plugged you can just drag and drop the folder files. And then you can see, for example, we hosted this website with a custom domain using the tool that we created. And you can easily do that with DeepSeek version 3. Here's an example, right? What I did was I basically just copied the code from DeepChat and you plug that into the CSS section. You're going to grab the JavaScript. That'll go into the JavaScript section over here. And then you want the HTML. Plug that in here. Boom, shakalaka. You got a nice little keyword research tool ready to go for you right there, as you can see, right? And then we just fill this in as a little test, calculate the score. You've built out a website with a tool ready to go. And it literally just took you a couple of prompts, right? Literally all we said in this chat was create a calculator for SEO using the DeepMind option, and then create HTML, CSS, and JS, right? Built it out instantly. No back and forth, no messing around. It's just ready to go. So we've covered 3 different ways to get access for free and build anything that you want using DeepSeek version 3. I'm going to show you the final method that is really powerful, and I'll show you that in a second. But you can see, to recap, we've got DeepSeek artifacts like I've shown you. We also have the second method, which is using chat.deepseek.com. And then the final method is using hyperbolic, like I mentioned before. So let's come on to the final method and how you can build anything that you want using DeepSeek version 3. So what we can do from here is we can actually use something called Bolt DIY. Again, I've got the whole recipe directly inside my free SEO course. And what you can do is you can go to the GitHub, and the actual tool itself is free. And like I mentioned, the API for DeepSeek version 3 is super cheap. So what you can do from here, make sure you got Docker installed. Just follow the instructions on the page if you're struggling, and we can just get this set up. Let's plug this in. Literally, it's just a case of copying and pasting the terminal commands. And then once you've done the final download, we can PNPM. We can run it, as you can see. Let's get this bad boy opened up. And you can see Bolt DIY right here. If it doesn't load for you properly, just refresh the page. And we're going to go to DeepSeek over here. We're going to select DeepSeek Chat. This is actually something I just realized recently. I think someone commented yesterday on the video, which was like, when you're selecting which drop down from Bolt DIY, make sure that you select chat, not coder, right? Now, the reason that you would use, for example, DeepSeek via Bolt DIY and not via artifacts or those sort of things, is that the advantage of this is you can create bigger projects, and Bolt DIY is trained to build stuff for you, right? To make it easy to build stuff. This is custom made for that, which means that you probably get better outputs and you'll be able to do it in better times. And also using Bolt DIY, you don't have to pay, but you can select which API you use. We can create an API key directly inside platform.deepseek.com. Again, super cheap. We're going to edit the API key input right here, plug that in. And then, for example, we can say from here, okay, create a to-do list app, and we can just build out that app. Now, the more complicated the project is, the harder it is to build it, the more back and forth you have to go with Bolt. So, for example, sometimes the dependencies are not installed. But the good thing is you can actually ask Bolt to troubleshoot it for you and fix any errors that you get along the way. So that's pretty cool. So, for example, you can see there's a terminal error there where we have to install Vite, which is pretty normal, to be fair. We're going to install that right now. We'll restart the application. And there we go. We've got the to-do list app ready to go, right? We'll build something with DeepSeek V3. Test that works. You can see it's added inside there. We can delete that if we want from the to-do list app. But basically, we've got an app ready to go. And again, you can host this sort of stuff with Netlify. So really powerful. I've shown you multiple ways: DeepSeek artifacts, Bolt DIY, DeepSeek Chat, DeepSeek DeepMind, and finally using Hyperbolic. Yeah, thanks so much for watching. So if you want to get access to all the links, tips, prompts, SOPs, along with 200 tutorials on exactly how to do SEO, feel free to get that link in the comments description. There's also so much value in this. Like, normally people pay thousands of dollars for something like this. It's completely free. Link in the comments description. Get free instant access. And then once you're in, just go to free SEO tools. And then from here, you can scroll down and you'll see all this information. For example, how to build tools with Lovable, Notebook LM, DeepSeek version 3, DeepSeek artifacts, and Bolt DIY. Additionally, if you want to get a free one-to-one SEO strategy session, feel free to build that in. We'll show you how we take websites from 0 to 145,000 visitors a month and generate thousands of dollars in sales on autopilot. On this free link building acceleration session, you'll get a free SEO domination plan, discover the secrets of SEO link building. We'll custom tailor everything that we talk about on that call to you, your website, who your competitors are, and what you need to get the results that you want. Additionally, you can ask us any questions and we're happy to help on that. This is all based on what works for us and our clients, so feel free to get it. Link in the comments description. Appreciate you watching. Bye bye.